and I wasn't. I was just found myself getting a little angry. That was the point. I'm like, come on, guys. It's summer. People want to come back out. The L is there. The buses are there. Let's go. But you've got to make it as safe and as safe feeling as you possibly can. I did not get the feeling they were paying attention to that. It's 9:28. My number is 312-981-7200. And I don't know if you've been riding Metra or the L like we have been and what your experience is, but I'm just kind of wondering about that. What's your experience been? 312-981-7200. Hey, Rob, this is John. How are you this morning?
Good morning. So I teach psychology at Judson University, and there's a little bit of research I'll summarize briefly. People brought into a room. All of them are in cahoots with the experiment except for one. Which of these lines are the same length, and it's painfully obvious? Everybody gives the wrong answer, and it gets to you, the real subject, and most of the time you and I will cave to go with the group. But there's just one other person that gives the right answer, you and I will have the courage to buck the norm. So when I go to the grocery store, I always wear a mask. But if I ever forgot my mask, I wouldn't dare go in, because at my store, everyone has one. And the fear of the social, it wouldn't be the Jewel employee talking to me. It's just the social pressure of conformity that does it.
Go back to the experiment, though. So there's two lines, one's longer, and everybody is saying that the obviously slower line is the better line, right?
Oh, sorry. When I say lines, not grocery store lines, but like a straight line on a piece of paper.
Oh, well, maybe the same thing, really? And everybody's saying this line is longer. You're going, no, it's not. I can tell that this line is shorter. And most people, though, will go with the group and say, okay, even though they know it's the wrong answer.
Yes, rather than fear social rejection. But if you get one other person who stands up and says what's obviously right.
Oh, really?
Then the other person, the one true subject, there's a lot of deception in psychology experiments. The one true subject will say the right answer because they're emboldened, because they have something to hold out with.
How about that? So that's a call for courage, isn't it? Somebody needs to say the right thing and stand by it, right?
Yeah, or in the case of the masks, we've got to get everybody wearing the mask so that the one person who doesn't feel like it will be pressured into wearing it.
I'm glad you called, Rob. Teaches psychology at, where did you say?
Judson University in Elgin.
Lucky the students that have Rob for an instructor. I appreciate your calling in, Rob.
Thank you, John. Looking forward to your speed jokes today.
Yeah. He said, you guys got the punchline to speed jokes yet? I accidentally rubbed ketchup in my eyes, and now I have blank. Dave doesn't have it.
I told you
It's 9:30.
I have two answers.
Speed jokes after WGN Radio News.
It's 81 degrees at 9:30. Good morning. I'm Steve Grzanich. Ongoing George Floyd protests and increasing calls to reform police departments.
Will baseball and the players get any closer today to try to salvage the season?
In business, stocks are lower after the first hour of trading. Dow down 301 points. The S&P is down nearly 1%. The NASDAQ is off about 1/4. Now let's get an update on WGN traffic with Mary Vandeveld.
Traffic is sponsored by Plumbers911.com. Accident outbound Kennedy at I-90 in the right lane still, along with an accident coming in on the Ryan at Garfield. 3 left lanes in the Express are blocked off with that accident. Coming inbound on the Ryan, it's about 25 minutes from 95th into downtown. Also an accident in Lake Porter County border. All lanes closed. US 231 at County Line Road due to a serious accident there. Westbound 8094, the entrance ramp from southbound Grant is closed until June 30th with road work. Do you have a plumbing emergency at your home or business? Don't panic. Call Plumbers 911. Plumbers 911 provides Chicagoland with licensed and highly trained plumbers 24/7. Call Plumbers 911 at 1-833-PLUM-911. I'm Mary Vandeveld from the Traffic Center, reminding you to drive responsibly. It really is a matter of life or death.
Now the forecast from the Permaseal Weather Center: mainly cloudy, later humid and windy with showers and maybe strong thunderstorms. High near 89, a little cooler along the lakefront. Wind gust as high as 40 to 50 miles per hour later. Showers and thunderstorms tonight, low down to 70, and then tomorrow mostly cloudy. Chance of showers and thunderstorms, a high near 80. It's 81, partly sunny at O'Hare, 81 at Midway, 75 along the lakefront, and it's 82 in Joliet. America remains gripped by protests today, 2 weeks after George Floyd died in Minneapolis police custody. From New York to Chicago to Los Angeles, people filled the streets again yesterday and are expected to do the same today. with mostly peaceful demonstrations. Floyd's final memorial service is today in Houston, where he grew up and where he'll be buried next to his mother. The George Floyd movement has generated a countrywide demand among some protesters to defund police departments. That may be easier said than done, says former FBI agent and ABC News law enforcement contributor Brad Garrett.
The police have obviously certain things that they have to do each day. If you want the police to continue to deal with the homeless and the mentally ill, then you're going to have to pay them to do that. And I know the argument, or at least one of the arguments, is they shouldn't be doing that, that there should be specialty units. And I get that. In cities that have specialty units, it tends to work out. But you can't go into these neighborhoods and deal with homeless and mentally ill people without having the police with you.
Chicago Mayor Lightfoot has not indicated that she's willing to defund police, as many protesters have been calling for. They say money for police should instead be spent on other services like mental health and homeless. The mayor says,
and I agree with them. We have to do better and focus city resources on those most important items and initiatives that we know are core to creating vibrant and healthy communities.
The mayor spoke yesterday afternoon on a conference call with police. More and more protests being held in Chicago following the death of Floyd last month in Minneapolis. The Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx spoke at one of those rallies yesterday in South Suburban Madison for police accountability and criminal justice reform.
This is more than about police brutality. It is about the losses that we see every day by systems that are racist, and it is okay in 2020 to call out systemic racism.
Cook County public defenders demonstrated outside the criminal courts building in support of Black Lives Matter. Protests were also held in Chicago's Pilsen neighborhood and in West Suburban Naperville. A pilot is dead following a small plane crash in Will County. Authorities say the 84-year-old pilot took off yesterday from Bolt Field near far south suburban Monee. The single-engine aircraft went down in a cornfield 400 yards south of Offner Road in Beecher. Witness to the accident reported she believed the plane may have had engine trouble prior to crashing. The National Transportation Safety Board will conduct an investigation. From miles above the Earth to its deepest reaches, former astronaut Kathy Sullivan has been there. Sullivan made it to the bottom of the Mariana Trench on Sunday, becoming the first woman to make the dive and the first person to have been both at the lowest and one of the highest points on Earth. In space, she made a call from the trench 7 miles below the surface to the crew of the International Space Station to mark the occasion. Now with WGN Sports, here's Dave Ennett.
Cubs boss Theo Epstein has pledged the Cubs will do a better job on matters of diversity and says to that end, the team is forming a diversity committee. Iowa football players return to campus to get set for voluntary workouts made controversy over allegations of racism in the program from former players. One of those players, current Bear James Daniels. NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace says it's time to get rid of Confederate flags at NASCAR races. Wallace is the only full-time African-American NASCAR driver. Major League Baseball says it needs an answer by tomorrow on the latest offer to the Players Union. The offer calls for a 76-game season and expanding the playoffs to as many as 16 teams. And the San Antonio Spurs have lost forward LaMarcus Aldridge for the rest of the season while he continues to recover from April shoulder surgery. Dave Ennett, WGN Sports.
Your money on WGN. Stocks are in the red this morning as the week-long rally on Wall Street hits the brakes. The S&P 500 is down nearly 1% this morning. The Dow is down nearly 300 points, more than 1%. The NASDAQ is off about 20 points after a stunning day yesterday for the tech sector. Yesterday, the stocks turned positive for the year for the first time since February. Skeptics have been saying for weeks that the rally, which reached 44.5% between late March and yesterday, may be overdone. The economy has given glimmers of hope that the recession could end relatively quickly, but stocks have soared so much more quickly than the economy is expected to, and analysts are saying investors should take note of that. U.S. job openings at 5 million in April, down from 6 million. The JOLTS data, the Job Opening and Labor Turnover Survey, shows that there are 4.6 unemployed persons per job opening in the U.S. right now. And the International Manufacturing Technology Show is the latest big trade show to pull out of McCormick Place. So far, nearly 100 events scheduled for McCormick Place have been scrapped this year because of the pandemic. Tribune Analysis says that's nearly $1.4 billion in revenue expected for the city at places like hotels, restaurant, entertainment, and transportation. And I'm Steve Grzanich on Chicago's very own 720 WGN.
2 years from now. Got any plans? I don't. But 2-year contracts make you plan around them anyway. What's even happening tomorrow? At WOW, we give contracts the modern touch by not having them. With us, not only do you get our super fast Internet 200 for a ridiculously low $44.99 a month, but you'll also get safe, simple, contact-free installation. Sign up today at wowway.com. Limited offer for new customers with autopay and paperless billing. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Offer subject to change. Restrictions and terms apply.
The American Lung Association is here to help you through the COVID-19 pandemic with science-based information you can trust. They have resources on protecting lung health, especially for those with lung disease, medical experts to answer your questions, webinars, and online communities. Visit lung.org to stay informed about COVID-19 and lung health. And while you're there, if you're able, your donation to their life-saving mission is needed now more than ever. Visit lung.org. Speed jokes come your way about this time. It's 9:39 on WGN Radio. Good morning, I'm John Williams. Our batch of speed jokes are sponsored by Team Hochberg. Got a couple of email about speed jokes. This one says, good morning, John. I went to my first parking lot mass Sunday at Our Lady of Mercy Church in Aurora. Our pastor, Father Don, likes to tell the perfect kind of jokes for your speed jokes segment. Sunday, he had his first opportunity in many weeks to finally tell jokes in person. We, of course, responded with the honking of our horns. Keep the jokes up. Signed, Teresa. I love that scene, don't you? And John, this emailer says, I sent you a joke on May 19th. See below. I've been listening, and I have not heard you read it. I'd like to know why, because it is at least as funny as what you've been reading. What's the deal? Even if you personally don't like it, I wish you would give it a chance. If you have read it and I missed it, then please accept my apology. Signed, Lynn. Lynn, I did see your joke. I'm sorry it doesn't make the cut.
Wow, pull the Band-Aid off.
Gee.
Yesterday, a clown held a door open for me. Nice gesture. I went to the paint store to get thinner.
Got it.
Didn't work. Poop jokes aren't my favorite, but I'll tell you what, they're a solid number 2.
Oh, boy.
Sorry about that, everybody. My neighbor runs his sprinkler constantly, sometimes for days at a time. It's very irrigating. Guy gets mugged by an acupuncturist. Stabbed him 14 times, but the next day he felt great. I got so frustrated with the world yesterday, I yelled into a colander, strained my voice. About our ongoing relationship with the now famous how many flies does it take to screw in a light bulb joke. Hold on a second. We're hearing some other noise in the background, and I don't know where that's coming from. It's okay, Olive? All right. About our ongoing relationship with the now famous how many flies does it take to screw in a light bulb joke, Chuck and Roscoe writes, 2 flies were screwing in a light bulb. First fly says to the second fly, do you think anybody will ever get this? Not bad, Chuck. Not bad. Mary Cussworm sent this one in. What did our parents do when they were bored with no internet? I asked my 18 brothers and sisters, and they didn't know either. Hey, guys, I accidentally rubbed ketchup in my eyes. Now I accidentally rubbed ketchup in my eyes. Now I have. Dave, what do you think?
57 variety eyes.
Ooh.
No, that's not the correct answer. Mary?
Cataracts.
Nice. Ketchup, cataracts.
Or I have 2 answers.
Yeah.
Red eye.
Steve Grzanich?
Yeah, no, I couldn't. I don't have anything. I'm sorry.
The correct answer is I accidentally rubbed ketchup in my eyes, and now I have again with your friends. Just go to WGNradio.com/speedjokes. Steve Grzanich is in our newsroom. What are you looking at, Steve?
Heinz Sight.
I've got hindsight.
So easy now that you think about it.
Think
Now
about it.
that
I
you
couldn't
think-
believe you guys are good at this.
Ours
I
were
thought-
better.
57 variant eyes.
Yeah,
Come on.
Cataracts? I mean, seriously.
Let's not let this fun segment devolve
Okay.
into bickering and arguing about the punchlines. Steve?
It's going to be mainly cloudy today, and we've got much more humid weather and windy conditions coming today. Showers and maybe some strong thunderstorms as well. High near 89, just a little cooler at the lakefront. Winds could be gusting as high as 40 to 50 miles per hour today. Sustained winds at 20 to 25 miles per hour. Then showers and thunderstorms tonight, low down to 70. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, showers and thunderstorms again. Expect a high near 80. It's 81 now in O'Hare, partly sunny. 81 at Midway, 80 at Aurora, 73 in Waukegan. It's 71 along the lakefront.
Baseball players would get 75% of their prorated salaries under a new proposal from the owners for a 76-game season at an expanded playoff field. It calls for a season starting early next month and ending in late September. The NCAA is working on a 6-week plan for college football teams to get ready. 2 weeks of conditioning, meetings, and walkthroughs, followed by a traditional 4-week preseason practice. And the U.S. women's national soccer team is calling on U.S. Soccer to end the policy prohibiting players from kneeling during the national anthem. The team also wants a statement that the policy was wrong in the first place.
Accidents being cleared. One on the outbound side of the Kennedy at I-90, another in the inbound Ryan and the Express at Garfield. Stall westbound I-90 near Elmhurst. That's blocking the right lane. Still have all lanes closed at Lake Porter County area, US 231 at County Line Road with an accident there. And westbound 8094 entrance ramp from southbound Grant closed until June 30th with road work. I'm Mary Vandeveld from the IDOT Traffic Center, reminding you to drive responsibly. It really is a matter of life or death.
My name is David Hochberg, and I hope everyone is safe and healthy. Today, meet Beth, airline executive and mother of a medically challenged daughter. Beth was finalizing her refinance when the pandemic hit in mid-March and called to cancel her loan because she thought she was going to be furloughed. I calmly explained to Beth why canceling her loan wasn't in her financial best interest and helped Beth restructure her loan to cover 2 months of mortgage payments and reload her escrow account. Beth was against increasing her loan amount when we started the loan, but was grateful of my suggestion. Financing 2 months' worth of mortgage payments, along with the escrow refund from the current lender, generated over $15,000 Beth desperately needed to support her daughter. If you'd like to see if Team Hochberg can restructure your mortgage to ease the economic challenges caused by the coronavirus, like we helped Beth, please call 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. That number again, 855-563-2843 or visit 56david.com. Tune in to Home Sweet Home Chicago, hosted by me, Saturdays at 10 a.m. Homeside Financial Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1124061.
And they're off. Out of the gate, it's summer's here, followed by biting mosquitoes, ticks aplenty, and yard pests galore. But wait, here comes Mosquito Squad at the turn, blowing away the competition, absolutely killing biting mosquitoes, ticks aplenty, and yard pests galore. These three are nowhere to be seen. It's summer's here in Mosquito Squad, pulling away, coming into the final stretch. It's gonna be close. It's summer's here with Mosquito Squad at your place. Summer's here in Mosquito Squad, a winning combination. Go to MosquitoSquadChicago.com. That's MosquitoSquadChicago.com.
Secretary of State facilities are now open, but until July 31st, only new drivers and those with expired licenses and IDs will be served. Vehicle stickers can also be renewed. There's no need to rush in. All expiration dates have been extended, and the Real ID deadline is now October 2021. Safety measures, including social distancing, are in place, so please be patient. Avoid lines by renewing online or by phone. For more information, visit cyberdriveillinois.com.
Hi, it's me, John Williams, just standing here looking at the clock. It's 9:47 on WGN Radio. Remember, you can send speed jokes to John Williams at WGNradio.com. And if you want to share them with your friends, just go to WGNradio.com/speedjokes. Before the news and the speed jokes, we were talking about people who do and don't wear masks. I was urging everyone, as anxious as we are to get out, as much as I hate my mask and rip it off my face when I can because I don't like wearing it, especially as it's getting warmer, I think we should. I rode the L today and noticed a lot of people don't have the mask on. Not many people on the L, but it was just disquieting. And I want to be a public transportation rider. I am a public transportation rider. A guy called in who said he was a sociologist or psychology professor at a university in Elgin, and He talked about an experiment in social pressure. This caller says, John, in response to the sociology caller, I never wear a mask anywhere. Only Menards has stopped me ever. I guess I'm the anomaly here in the western suburbs. John, my hairdresser yesterday said it was a recommendation, not mandatory to wear a mask, and she did not have one on. John, homeless people like you, ones you saw on the train, may not have masks. Totally understand that. I'm very sympathetic to that. I want the CTA to anticipate that. I want them to have stations where they can hand out free masks. If you come into the train stop and you don't have a mask, show me your mask. If you don't have a mask, I will give you one. I will give you one for free. I'm sorry, how do they not do that? John, they were handing out masks in the New York City, too, for the subway. They aren't doing that at the L stop that I was at today, the two of them. John, face masks should be mandated on public transportation here, just like in New York. I completely agree with you on that, but I haven't seen that. And by the way, Leona says she's a property manager. She has signs up everywhere. Someone came in the office, sneezed 3 times, didn't have a mask on. Sneezing is the new, it's like, oh my God, no, run for your lives.
And plus, allergies are so bad right now.
I know.
That a lot of people are sneezing.
I know, and you want to just say, trust me, it's cool, we're good, I'm good, I just have an allergy.
Yeah.
It's like the joke where the guy goes into the bank with a face mask on, and he says, don't worry, it's just a robbery. You are so paranoid about somebody sneezing. I walked into the building then. So I finally get off the red line, and I walk from my stop over to 303 East Wacker. It's a little less than a mile. It's a lovely walk. It's a beautiful city. Ain't nobody here. And when I came in, I by now had taken my mask off for my walk, and I didn't put it back on, but I wear it around my wrist. And I had actually just pulled it down below my chin. So I'm wearing it, but it's below my chin, which a lot of people do. Like, that's like a show of force. No, you have to have it on your nose and mouth. And when I walked in, the front desk people said, sir, your mask has to cover your face. And I said, thank you, my bad, I'm an idiot. Threw myself down on the sword. I'm sorry, I did not intend to be a scofflaw. And then I walked to the elevator with my mask on. And then when we get onto our floor, then it's up to us to govern ourselves any way we want. And here at the station, very few of us wear masks inside the station.
Are we 6 feet apart?
You and I are.
Good.
Elif and I are during the day.
So our church is opening up this weekend,
Yeah.
and there's so many rules. And I'm a lector, and they're now saying the lector has to read with their mask on. So I'm trying to think of what kind of mask I can wear,
Right.
so that I don't look like an idiot in front of everybody. I mean, I can't get one of the ones. With
I'd say one with a little devil on it.
Oh, it's going to be interesting.
Haven't you had people ask you if you're wearing a mask while you're doing this job?
A little bit, yeah.
I
have.
get some of that.
Bob Kessler did the other day when he was doing the news here. And I think he may have taken it off during that shift because it was sounding muffled. Ryan Burr was out in the street when he was reporting on the Blue Angels flying overhead. Mm-hmm. But there was a crowd of reporters around him. None of them were wearing one. Or I'm trying to remember if they were or not. But anyway, we told him to put his mask on. And he eventually did, and then he sounded muffled. But I think that's the price you pay.
Yeah.
Jacqueline used to take the CTA. Is that right, Jacqueline? You're on WGN. Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good morning. Nice to talk to you again. Yeah, I take the bus, okay? And last time I was on a bus was March 16th, coming back home from downtown. Haven't been on one since.
Yeah.
You sort of confirmed my decision to, when I do go back downtown, I can't take, and I don't have a car. So I won't take the bus because what you told me on the L, I know will be just probably even more so on my bus. So I live close to a Metro, and I'm going to chance that one.
What line do you take on Metro? Are you on the Burlington or what are you on?
No, I call it the IC, from the south side.
Yeah,
from the south side.
So
I'm in Hyde Park, yeah.
We'll do this, Jacqueline. Just keep listening. Thanks for the call. Thanks for calling in. 312-981-7200. How many folks are on the Metro? Steve, you don't take Metro. You have in the past.
Yeah, but no, not lately.
Not lately. If you've been on Metro, I'm kind of curious what the behavior is, what the capacity is, how many folks are on there. Hey, Mary, you're not wearing a mask either, right?
Not at all. I'm not afraid of anything. I haven't been since day one of this. Let me put it this way. You say I wear a mask for everybody else. I wish everybody else would take off their masks.
You want to go with the herd immunity, huh?
Well, I wouldn't go. I don't like crowds, so I wouldn't get into a crowd.
Where do you live?
I'd go in a restaurant today with nobody wearing a mask, customers or wait staff, and think nothing of it.
Where do you live?
Lombard.
And do you live in a neighborhood, a subdivision, folks all around you and whatnot?
Yeah, I live in a condo building, and it's residential.
And you go
all
out?
around me.
You are in public every now and then?
Oh, yeah, I go to various grocery stores and just various...
Do you wear a mask when you go to those stores?
No, I have not worn a mask.
And nobody stops you?
Nope.
I don't know what the next question is. You're supposed
I wish you just get rid of masks. I mean, admittedly, I wouldn't go in a crowd, but I don't like crowds anyway.
Well, put it this way, Mary. So if you get COVID-19...
I'm not...
No, what?
I know I could, but I'm not going to.
Mary, what are the numbers, Elif? I don't have them in front of me. But,
how about me, Mary? Do you know? Am I going to get it?
Probably not.
Wait a minute. 100,000 people have... I had the numbers yesterday in front of me, but it's several 100,000 people have contracted it in the country, in the state, and hundreds of thousands of people in the country have died from COVID-19. You're aware of that, right?
I hear numbers all over the place.
Oh my God, Mary, this is an extraordinary opportunity for you. I think it's just under 3 million people in the United States have the disease or have contracted the disease, and hundreds of thousands of people have died from the disease. And the Chicago area is one of the hot spots in the United States. So if you came...
I haven't heard...
Hold on, I'm not done. So if you came here from Mars and you said, hey, what's this COVID-19? I want to get me some. You would come to Chicago. This would be about as good a place as any to get the disease.
But
this is where everybody's coming to get it.
But you hear people die of the flu all the time. Well, not...
122,000 cases in Illinois, almost all of them near Lombard.
I'm not. It hasn't scared me since day one. I mean, I hear things about cleaning off your things you buy in the grocery store and all kinds of items, and like, what?
Let me ask you this, because I think at various times a lot of us had the attitude you did. Like when we first saw people wear masks, we kind of rolled our eyes. But then the rest of the planet kind of got on board. I'll ask you this, Mary. Do you not want to wear a mask, not so much for the health and safety of it, like you're not even talking about the disease. You just don't want somebody to tell you what to do. That's your problem.
Yeah, that's some of it, I think. But at the same time, as I said, today, as things are, I would really like to go into a restaurant with no other customers or wait staff wearing a mask. I'm tired of this.
I am too.
I hear numbers all over the place and like, oh.
Hey, Mary, I'm going to hang up. I'm going to hang up now. I appreciate your listening and sharing your honest experience because we know there are people like you out there. You
remember me? I met you one time at Pinstripe in Oak Brook.
Oh, I remember you. You made me crazy then, too. And I appreciate you dialing in.
Okay.
Bye now. This is the end of the conversation. I'm glad she called. Do we have time for one more? No, we don't. Chris says she doesn't wear a mask unless someone says to. And that's where we are. Maybe we should go with herd mentality. No, wait. I don't want us to do that. It's 9:57.
Herd immunity.
Well, actually.
or herd mentality.
I think the herd mentality will get us there. It's 9:57 on WGN.
And just like that, the stock market recoups all its 2020 losses. What's next? Find out on the Wintrust Business Lunch at noon.
WGN. Hi, this is Lou Manfredini, and I have John Rogers on the line, the president of Rogers Roofing, your trusted roofing contractor for over 50 years. John, the health and safety of homeowners and your employees is always your top priority. What is Rogers Roofing doing during these challenging times?
Lou, like most of us, we're monitoring the health concerns facing our communities. We've taken numerous actions to do our part in helping limit the spread of the virus while still providing homeowners the exceptional products and services they've come to expect. We are essential and we are working.
So if someone has damage or is in need of a new roof or new siding, is this a good time to call Rogers Roofing?
Absolutely. We'll provide you a virtual estimate in the comfort of your own home. And our production team is following the enhanced health precaution guidelines from the CDC and practice social distancing. Plus, we're providing our very best pricing and financing ever. I want to help our customers during these trying times and keep our employees working.
Call Rogers Roofing for a free virtual estimate. 800-NEW-ROOF. That's 800-NEW-ROOF. Or log on to rogersroofing.com.
At Permaseal, we're working very hard to help homeowners in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. But we need your help. We are looking for awesome people to join us. To apply, go to permaseal.net/careers.
Permaseal. Here's the numbers. United States, 1.8 million cases, 107,000 deaths. These numbers may be a little old, but you get the point. Illinois, 123,000 cases. We're coming up on 6,000 deaths. None of them, very, very few of them, south of I-80. There's no doubt about the following things. The weather's going to get better and warmer. We are going to get through this crazy time, and your knee will not get better on its own. I'm John Williams, and I'm encouraging you to go to the Joint Relief Institute as quick as you can. Maybe you can't get along very quickly, but get over there. They're in Orland Park or Oak Brook. They use digital imaging. They'll see where your knees failed you. They put a lubricant into that spot, and it works. That's it. That's the deal. It's a quick, pain-free, non-surgical procedure. The first visit is free. Taking care of that knee pain of yours is essential to your well-being. So the weather's getting better, and as we tippy-toe out into this world, maybe with masks on, walk with confidence and a pain-free gait. Start by visiting jointreliefinstitute.com or call 708-888-0000, as in zero pain.
Serving the great Midwest from Chicago, this is WGN at AM 720 on your radio and on smart devices anywhere just by saying play WGN Radio on TuneIn. WGN Chicago, a Nexstar Media Group station.
It is 81 degrees at 10 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Steve Bertrand. The news is sponsored by Kaplan Law Firm. An off-duty Chicago police officer recovering after a morning shooting on Wall Street. The markets are down in the early going. First, a look at traffic. Here's Mary Vandeveld.
And traffic is sponsored by the Associated Press. Looking good on the Edens. The Kennedy just cleared an accident outbound at I-90. Eisenhower is okay along with the Stevenson and the Ryan. Watch for an accident on 57 outbound at 111th. Also a stall on westbound I-90 near Elmhurst, and that's in the right lane. Ground Game is the latest podcast from the Associated Press, hosted by AP's Julie Pace. Ground Game discusses election strategy all through primary season. Download it wherever you get your podcasts. Mary Vandeveld, WGN Traffic Central.
The forecast from the WGN Chicago Weather Center, meteorologist Paul Conrad.
Look for a warm, muggy afternoon across Chicagoland with very windy conditions and the development of showers and thunderstorms. We'll see temperatures up near the 90-degree mark, and winds could be gusting up to 45, 50 miles per hour. Storms around here tonight and into tomorrow. Tomorrow, a daytime high of 80 degrees, still windy, a 40% chance for rain showers off and on through the daytime hours. And then things dry out. A nice stretch of weather Thursday through Monday of next week with temperatures primarily into the 70s. On Thursday, sunshine, upper 70s. Friday, mid-70s with sunshine. And then for Saturday, a daytime high in the upper 60s with plenty of sunshine both Saturday and Sunday. From the WGN Weather Center, I'm Paul Conrad.
75 degrees right now at Waukegan. Across the lake at South Haven, it is 82. 81 degrees now at Chicago's O'Hare Airport. And off-duty Chicago police officers in fair condition after being shot on the southwest side early this morning around 3:15. Happened near 39th and Artesian in the Brighton Park neighborhood. Police say the officer was approaching his car when two men came up to him. The officer returned fire. It's not known if the others were hit by the gunfire. A man police say shot a Chicago police officer early yesterday morning on the west side is due in court today. WGN's Ryan Burrow has that.
Police say officers were responding to a domestic disturbance at Polk's home in the 500 block of North Leamington Avenue when Polk fired a gun several times and ran off. later returning through a basement and shooting at a police officer as he stood on a stairwell. The officer was hit in the shoulder, but the bullet was stopped by a protective vest. An officer taken in good condition to Stroger Hospital. Police did catch the man a few blocks away and say they recovered a weapon. Ryan Burrow, WGN News.
New study says the U.S. says the shutdown orders prevented 60 million infections of COVID-19, but there's now a rise in many states as we start to open up. ABC's Matt Gutman is in Arizona, where the cases are spiking.
The head of COVID response for one of the major hospital systems here tells me that before that reopening on May 15th, they predicted about 600 deaths statewide. Those models are now predicting 4,500 deaths in Arizona. And as the global COVID count tops 7 million, he says people think that COVID is going away. In fact, he says it's actually digging in. Matt Gutman, ABC News, Phoenix, Arizona.
Illinois businesses and nonprofits have received over $22 billion under the federal government's Paycheck Protection Program, or PPP. That comes down to more than 185,000 separate loans. There have been 4.5 million loans nationwide. It's primary day in 4 states today. Long lines forming at some polling places as Democratic candidates vying to take on Republican Senator David Perdue of Georgia are squaring off. The voting comes after weeks of delays caused by the pandemic. And here's a change. With movie theaters closed, drive-ins are starting to pop up in Chicago. WGN's James Sears has that.
Chi-Town Football in Pilsen is opening a drive-in theater in the parking lot. It's the first to get approval within city limits. Chi-Town Movies will screen Star Wars: A New Hope at 8:50 and 11:50 tonight and every night through Monday. It's $33 per car and they'll be spaced 7 feet apart. Masks must be worn if you leave that car. Get tickets at chitownfootball.com. James Sears, WGN News.
Let's get a look at your money on WGN. Here's Orion Samuelson.
Stock market coming back a little bit from the lower opening, but we're still down for the day on 2 of the 3 indices. The Dow Industrial Average down 149 points. The S&P 500 is down 17 points, and the Nasdaq is higher. It's up 11 points. The worry factor at the CBOE, the VIX is down up nearly a point. The S&P 500 Airlines Index down 8.5%, while cruise operators Carnival and Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings fell between 10 and 12% after climbing yesterday. Federal Reserve Open Market Committee 2-day meeting begins today and will conclude on Wednesday. Turning to the grain trade at the Chicago Board of Trade, the July contracts: wheat down 7 cents a bushel, corn down 4.5 cents a bushel, and soybeans are down 5.5 cents a bushel. Livestock futures, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. The June lean hog contract down 25 cents a hundredweight. But cattle have come back just a little bit. The June cattle contract is up 77 cents a hundredweight, and the August feeder cattle contract is down just 10 cents a hundredweight. That's your money on 720 WGN.
Jumped up to 84 degrees right now at O'Hare. I'm Steve Bertrand on Chicago's very own 720 WGN.
There's a chance your local Geico agent has the same affinity for dad jokes as you.
What do you call a fake noodle?
I don't know. Maybe an impasta.
Oh, so cheesy.
Did it grate on you?
Yeah, you really shredded me.
But there's a better chance your local Geico agent could help you out with auto, homeowners, renters, or condo insurance. Motorcycle, boat, or RV insurance, too. They'll work hard to provide sound advice and significant savings. You don't need to share a love for paternal puns to do that. Local Geico agents. Call or visit yours today.
The natural habitat of a creepy doll is a horror movie. It can't help being creepy. It's that small fixed smile and those never closing eyes, always watching you, plotting, which you're imagining. It's mindless. But when the creepy doll hears that Geico not only saves people money, but also gives them easy access to emergency roadside service through an award-winning app, it knows you should switch. Because yes, switching to Geico is a no-brainer. The only question is, how did the creepy doll move from the bedroom to the hallway? I would get out of the house.
I would too. It's 10:08. This is WGN Radio. This is John Williams. Our speed joke segment comes your way each day at 9:38. We replay them in the 11 o'clock hour. They're sponsored by Team Hochberg. Thank you, David Hochberg, for that. You can always find them at WGNradio.com/speedjokes. Send your best jokes to us, and we'll put a smile on your face at 9:38. Just email John Williams at WGNradio.com. And again, WGNradio.com/speedjokes if you want to find them. Steve Bertrand, would you have been able to get the punchline to the quiz joke this morning, which was I accidentally rubbed ketchup in my face?
Well, I heard Dave's answer, and I heard Mary's answer, and I heard Steve's non-answer.
Right.
And I really think Steve was closer to it than the other two.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
And now I have hindsight.
I would have never gotten that.
Which, the best part about that joke was getting a chance to play this. When's the last time you heard this song on the radio? Isn't this so wonderful? And I didn't even play the beginning of it, but the beginning of this song, I know you're playing it in your head. O'clock, and then a new batch tomorrow. Hopefully, every day I wake up thinking, where am I going to find 8 more awesome jokes? And each day, somehow, miraculously, we do. Hindsight.
Hey, I got another answer for that. Catcher in the eye.
Very nice.
That was from a texter.
Now I have catcher in the eye.
Yeah, I think
catcher isn't ketchup.
It's hilarious. What?
Well, it's kind of a round hole in a square peg, or round peg in a square hole.
It's in the neighborhood,
I
but
think it's funny.
It didn't walk right in the front door.
No, it didn't.
I mean,
not like 57 for riot eyes.
Or my cataract.
So anyway, we'll do another round of those tomorrow. How about that last call before the news? Mary in Lombard, she says she hasn't worn a mask since the beginning. She doesn't like masks. She never wears them. She goes to stores. Nobody's ever asked her to put on a mask. She's belligerent about it. She's a nice listener. We appreciate you doing that, Mary, listening. But doggone it, you're supposed to wear a mask.
I think the key thing she said was, I'm tired of it.
Which I resonated with a lot of us. That was my point of my monologue at the beginning of the show. We need to stay resolute because, like the grocery store line analogy, we've been in this one line for almost 3 months, and they're about to check us out. And now what? You want to get in another line? Because if we have another spike, they're going to start all over again. And I am that guy. If I'm on the Eisenhower and I'm in the third lane and the second lane seems to be moving pretty quickly, I go over to the second lane. What happens then, Dave?
Then the second lane slows down.
What he said. But she doesn't care. And I appreciate her calling in because it's just good to know that that's the world we live in, that there are people like that out there. And I don't know what motivates you. I asked her if it's just because people are telling her not to wear the mask that she does. I don't want to wear the mask either. I hate my masks. I hate them. I wear them.
Don't you, though, when you see someone in a store without a mask on, feel some resentment, some anger towards them because they are... The whole point, they're putting you at risk.
And
I rolled my eyes twice at the same guy on the train this morning, and I caught myself after. It wasn't like on purpose. It was just, I was so annoyed.
Really, dude? Really?
You have to watch that now because they can't see the rest of your face. He might have offered you his phone number.
That's all they...
Oh my God, Steve.
I'm just saying.
I felt a little resentment, your word, Dave Ennett, when Ella and I were driving home yesterday with my son Griffin. We were going up Lakeshore Drive and to the right as we're heading north, looking out at the beautiful lake and the green that is untrammeled by human steps. The lawn has never looked more inviting in the sand. And people were out playing volleyball. They were riding their bikes. They were jogging. They were walking in groups. They were doing things people do on a lakefront. The lakefront is closed. People were doing it. They were riding their bicycles. I was shocked. And I thought, holy cow, that's a very safe activity they're engaged in. But I'm not doing it because I'm trying to play by the rules. And so now I have this stupid resentment at them because they're doing exactly what I want to be doing and which I think is safe to do. So now I'm just a rule follower. Now I'm a guy at 3 a.m. at a stoplight, nobody for miles, and I'm waiting for it to turn green. Have you ever just run a red when there's nobody for miles at 3 a.m? What's the point of the red light? It's so that it's safe. So if they're safely walking up and down the lake, it shouldn't bother me. But I'm being denied that privilege because I'm playing by the rules. And that's part of the group think that's going on out there, too.
So you just switched lines in the grocery store, John.
How's that?
Well, I mean, you're saying we need to stay in the line we're in so we can get out of the store, and now you want to change lines and...
Well, if the light turns green, if you will, or if the line starts to move more quickly, then we're all happy. Then I'm good. I guess the equivalent would be Lori Lightfoot opening up the lakefront. Am I being a hypocrite now, Steve? Am I speaking out of both sides of my mouth?
I don't know that you are, but...
I think that, for instance, their opening up the lakefront would be a safe option for us, but I'm not doing it because I'm trying to be a good citizen here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Marion Lombard, who's standing next to you at the Jewel, and she hasn't worn a mask ever. She's not she's a different creature here.
I'm worried because she lives kind of by me.
Yeah. Hello, Lombard.
Bring her a mask.
She's not worried about you, Mayor.
I make masks. I'll bring you one.
I'll
Mary.
tell you what, 87% of the advertising on this radio station now is for face masks, and it should be. If I ran a store, I would have an endless supply of them to hand out to people that come in that don't have them. You're not a bad person. Maybe you are a forgetful person. Maybe you're a belligerent person. But you're not going into the store without a mask. And I will give you a mask if that's what it takes.
And in the stores where I live, there's signs that you can't go in without a mask.
I just got a text from someone who said, I can't believe that anybody in this state is going into a store without a mask on, because that's been the one message.
Yeah, most of the stores have the signs right in the front.
Walk right by it. She just goes in.
She just goes right by.
Steve, I went into one of those stores the other night since we live near each other,
Yeah.
and into Walgreens. And as I'm walking in with my mask on, here's a guy walking out, coming right towards me without a mask. And I really had to bite my tongue.
As if to say, here, why don't you hold my disease, fella? How about a little of that?
Yeah. And why did they let him in the first place?
Well, there you go. Now, he may have ripped the mask off as soon as he checked out. I don't know. But if, for instance, you come into my store, you ain't got a mask on, you don't come into my store. If when you're in the store, you don't have the mask on, we don't ring you up. You may have seen those viral videos.
Yeah, right. But so then you're asking these poor first responders or the first essential workers who are making minimum wage or whatever anyway, to now become, to deal with these belligerent
Security.
people. Yeah, that's another, I don't know about that.
There's a video of a Costco or Walmart customer having a loud conversation with some with some heroic employee who's wearing a mask, and the guy's videotaping him, and the clerk says, the employee just says, okay, just so you all know, because now he knows he's being videotaped, how's that going to turn out for you? He says, I am, in fact, refusing to serve this person because he is refusing to wear a mask. The guy posts that thinking the sympathy would be with him, but it was not at all. Everybody championed the young man who said, I'm sorry, sir, it's not fair and it's not safe. The funny thing is, we just don't know the percentages at any given store at any given time. Like I'm sitting there on the L car today with 5 people. The guy sitting across from me does not have a mask on. What are the chances, right? Maybe 1/100% of a chance that he's got it. And if he does, another 100% of a chance that I'm going to get it. I mean, it could be that infinitesimally small. Or it could be or it could be that he's giving it to me right now, and you just don't know. You don't know.
So this is where we talk ourselves into oblivion, but I'm not that worried about coming up upon people in stores without their masks on, because I'm walking past them, or I'm,
Yeah, you've been that way all along.
Yeah.
And
if I was sitting next to someone on an L car, I would, you're spending some time with them, I would feel differently. But, so I do this game when I'm walking across the bridge to my car, and I hold my mask in my hand, and when someone comes close to me,
I do that.
I put the mask on, then I take it off.
That's a courtesy.
As a courtesy, right. But if they don't have a mask on, I don't think I'm any more at risk just by walking past them.
I concur with you on that. But as a courtesy, I think you're right. If the person's nervous about it, it's a habit for me now. I don't even think about it so much. Every now and then I find myself walking without needing to have the mask on, with the mask on. I go, and then I pull it off because I don't like my mask. Tom, what did you want to say? Thanks for holding. You're on. Dave, I asked you to stick around, not because I wanted to talk about masks with you, but I wanted you to do the baseball calculation with me. Can we do that in a minute?
Sure.
All right. Tom, you're on the air. What's on your mind?
Yeah, hi, John. First-time caller, long-time listener. Love your show. The issue that I got is, I think, even larger than the non-mask wearing. I live up in Lincolnwood, and I got people throwing Airbnb COVID parties on my block.
What are those?
Oh, they put the house up for Airbnb rental, and at night, 2 to 3 times a week, they bring in people and throw parties.
And they don't wear masks?
No, I won't say never, but most of the people aren't, and they get counseled by the police department that they should be wearing masks, but they basically have way over occupancy limits. We're up in sometimes 30 to 50 people in this house, and I'm getting reaction from the police department that basically is the governor's orders about non-congregation are only orders and not the law, and they will not enforce it.
What town is this Airbnb in?
Lincolnwood.
Lincolnwood. Not too far from Lombard, I might add.
Well, they both start with L, and evidently they both have, we're all in this together, and I tend to think of this as being in the pool, and they think that this is the P zone.
Yeah, I'll pee over here. Don't worry, you won't get it.
Exactly. And I'll wake up in the morning and find the party that went till, say, 3 o'clock in the morning, which is not uncommon, and there's beer cans and liquor bottles laying in the street and pizza boxes, and who knows what they got on them.
This is why the governor of Michigan shut down all the Airbnbs.
That's exactly what I'm pushing for the village of Lincolnwood to do. They have some sort of limited restriction as it is now where they're supposed to only allow an Airbnb if it's for a non-short-term rental, which I've been told has to be a minimum of 30 days for any type of rental. And these Airbnbs are going, week to week, 2 days. They list it as a 2-day house.
I'm really sorry for you. I mean, that's just such for one thing, if you're living next to an Airbnb and 50 people are partying until 3 in the morning, that's not a pleasant life for you. And then if you feel they're doing so and it's making you unsafe, like we don't have enough anxiety right now as it is, that's bad, Tom. I'm sorry to hear that.
No, I think we've reached the point where it's bad, but we need to all recognize that, yes, we are in this together, and that allowing nonsense like this to go on risks everyone's health and life. To give you an idea, John, I've got a family of first responders. My brother is a fireman paramedic, and he worked with the first fireman that died.
Here in Chicago?
Yes. Yeah. That was Mario, I believe, what was his last name, Achiro or something like that. I forget what it was. Yeah. Abato. Pardon me for murdering the name.
That's okay. But, it's important that you mention that, and I'm going to go to another call, Tom, but you hang in there, man.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks for calling. Yeah. I asked Elif to look up what was a show like before COVID-19. Like, literally, what were we talking about? So she just randomly found a show in January or February, and we were talking about the Super Bowl.
And vaping.
I know. Like, what used to animate us? Are you kidding me? That's a halftime show? That used to get calls. Oh, for the good old days. So, not to change subjects because I won't, but I asked Dave to stick around. Producer Elif, did you look up for us? Watch this. We haven't done this in a while. Hey, Elif, what is the average salary for a Major League Baseball player, please?
$4.4 million, John.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do the numbers on this for the baseball players.
Okay, so
$4.4 million.
4.4. Oh, are we doing math? I was told there was no math involved.
I'll do my best.
Okay. So $4.4 million. Yeah. You're going to get
prorated
on a prorated basis. So 4.4 million divided by 162.
Don't do that.
Well, to be perfectly precise.
So you're going to get the number, that'll be how much you earn per game.
Per
and
game.
Multiply that by 76.
And 76.
All right. Keep going.
Okay. And then,
hold on, divided by 160. Hey, somebody at home do this, please.
Yeah, I'm going to do it also.
All right, 4.4 million divided by 162 times 76. Divided by 162, that's per game, times 76.
Divided by 162 equals
times 76.
That's okay. It's $27,160.
Sounds about right.
See, I couldn't do this with my mask on.
76 equals.
That is so true, Steve. I'm
million.
stupider without my mask on. Ooh, that sounds about right. 2 million?
Yeah, out of 4.475.
What did you get?
Oh, wait a minute. No, I didn't do this, right?
That sounds about right because it's going to be a little more than half.
But that's 76 times. That's the prorated. That's the full prorated salary.
Right. Divided by 162 is how much per game? Oh, Jesus. This is a bad
I'll just start over.
Dave, don't do that. Okay, so somebody will do this. 4.4 million, Elif, divided by 162 times 76. That's about half, right? That's about half of their salary because they're going to play about half the number of games. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, 82 is 81 is half the games.
But then you're going to subtract 25% from that.
2.1 million.
Well, assuming their postseason is played, they get 75% of that.
So I'm going to guess it's about 1.76 million.
Okay, here's an example. The highest paid players, Mike Trout and Garrett Cole, $36 million for a full season. They
$36 million for a full season.
$36 million.
Man.
They would be guaranteed $8.7 million if that's for the season, for the regular season. If there is a postseason, they would get $12 million.
12 million. Okay, and those are the real galling numbers. But if the average player makes 4.4 million, then the formula that you're talking about is going to get them about just a little under $2 million to play baseball for half the year. And I'm thinking, yeah, you could live with that. And maybe you're getting screwed by the man and the COVID, and that's just a terrible indignation to have to play for $1 million. But this is the year that you have to play for $1 million.
Players who make $1 million, which is about half the players, could earn up to $389,000.
I could live on that, and maybe some of them do. I'll bet. I don't know if you're making $1 million a year playing baseball, you probably don't have Michael Jordan-like house. I'll bet you could get along for $389,000 this year.
Well, the other thing to consider is the fact that they have a limited shelf life. I mean, their earnings years.
That's a good point.
Are not unlimited. So
I think that's a good point, Steve. Oh, but only to a point. That is one of the reasons that your earning years are limited. Is not just because of your age. As you get older, you're not going to do as well, but because there's wear and tear on your body. Well, you're going to have half the wear and tear on your body.
Well, you're going to have half the wear and tear over the course of the season, but you're probably going to have more wear and tear in the sense that you're going to have to sort of, I mean, I know they're saying there's going to be a 3-week spring training
Ramp
or whatever.
it up quickly.
But yeah, you've been sitting, I mean, hopefully most of these guys have been able to do something for the past 3 months.
Right. We'll see.
But they came from 65 miles an hour to 25 miles an hour, and now they're going back, they're ramping it back up to 75.
Pitchers will not throw 200 innings. They're going to throw about 100 innings.
Yeah.
90 innings.
Oh, that part of it.
Even if they pitch regularly.
Yes.
So, and maybe they'll be a little more stressed because they've got to now suddenly get amped up, and that's hard for your body to do.
But they're also going to be pitching in games that, because it's a shortened season, are more impactful in terms of...
Right. Every game is going to matter.
Yeah,
they're going to feel more like NFL
The
games.
pennant race starts July whatever.
You can't win a pennant in July, but you can lose it.
Okay,
right.
So here's the point of this conversation. Go play baseball. Go play baseball.
Yeah, you misunderstood me. When I said limited shelf life, I meant that they should be on the field earning everything they can now.
Oh, interesting.
Not sitting out for a season.
Interesting. Well, go play baseball. Go play baseball for $389,000. Go play baseball for $300,000. And if the billionaire owners are going to come out ahead, and I don't think they're going to come out way ahead. I live near Wrigley Field. It sits empty every day. God bless the Ricketts. I don't know how they're getting along. Go play baseball. Y'all go play baseball. Go play baseball. When asked to give his thoughts on this, John Williams said, go play baseball. It's 10:27. All right, we'll pause here. I know a lot of you want to talk more about the mask issue. We'll get back to that. Also, what happened when a local school tried to serve snacks to protesters? Did you see what happened to the kids that were out selling and handing out pizzas and beverages to the protesters?